Hello everybody, Wicked Gaming here with a quick tutorial on with some Outpost building tips. Since I keep getting asked in different live streams and different video comments how certain things are possible and how I lined specifically like the airlock up with my landing pad. So without further ado, here we go. So first I pick which terminus I want. Depending on terrain, I go with either sunk or low or the standard. They're just different heights. They are all two-click build. I like to have my front area, the walk-up stairs and the little ramp and stuff. I like to have them partially submerged so that there's no jumping to get onto my terminus. So as you can see here, I can raise it and I can lower it. I get it to where I want it, and I click the second time. The next thing I usually do is I will go to storage and build these containers on the side of my terminus. They click right on, and then if I ever need to destroy and replace my terminus, these will help it snap back into position where I originally had it. You definitely don't need that much storage volume. Each one of these attached to the terminus, and the ones I just built are 100K each. It's a little excessive, but it is what it is. So now, how do I get my airlock up against the side of the terminus? Now, some of where you position it is going to be based on terrain. As you can see here, I've got some terrain issues up against the terminus where it just doesn't want to. So if I try to attach it here, it's gonna throw issues because of this. I won't be able to put any kind of structure on the outside of it. Next thing I will point out is that there is a setting in the game that controls outpost overlap and what can be stacked on top of what. You'll notice that mine, it is letting me, go right up against it without it being red. This is supposed to work for everybody. It doesn't always work for me. It doesn't always work on console. It doesn't always work for everybody. But that setting has been set on the terminus, and you'll notice that sometimes it succeeds and sometimes it doesn't. But what you also the important thing here is if you pay attention, you'll see that the stairs are appearing and disappearing. So normally, if the tolerance isn't working for you, then you'll see that when the stairs appear and attach to the front of that little landing, that it'll go red. So all you have to do is get this as close as you can, and then when you turn your mouse, it is turning in closer and further away. It'll rotate towards and then back away from the landing pad as you spin your camera very slowly. So your goal would be to get it to clip through right here. It would go red, and then you just spin just a little bit back in the other direction until it disappears again. At that point, you can click once, dial upwards until it is in the height position that you want, and then you click again, and you're good. And now that outpost airlock is clipped into the terminus and completely flush. From here, I can build my base however I want. I have a habitual way that I design my bases. You don't have to build this same way. That is totally up to you. But for me, I find that this works out really, really well 99 times out of 100. So I do those square ones on the bottom. I then go to the circle hab, and it will build on top of the white square buildings to give me this pattern right here. And then from there, what I usually do is I'll go and put a scanner, the middle 2 of 3 position. This one will sometimes let you build on top, sometimes it doesn't. I don't know the rhyme or reason. See there, since I went over the circle hab, it figured out, hey, I don't need to try and spawn a foundation. So we just try and get this as centered as possible, and I build that, and then I'll go to power, and again try and get them as centered as possible. And there's the basis for how I build my outposts. Now, if I ever have to destroy and replace this terminus for whatever reason, like I said before, it will snap to these storages on the side, but what's going to stop you is this airlock. This airlock will not allow you to clip this terminus back into position if you remove the terminus. So what you end up having to do is pick up the airlock, move it somewhere else temporarily, like over here. Then you place the terminus, and then you just move this back. It'll snap right back into position. I do it all the time. But there you go. There are the basics for how I build my outposts and get everything cross-connected. The other pro tip I would give you is that this entrance here is not going to nav mesh properly for NPCs. They can come out into the door area and they'll stand here. They can interact on the terminus, but the NPCs don't understand that they can just walk over. So I always give them alternate entrances outside of the terminus. So, for example, here's my, there we go, and clip it down there. And clip it down there. And I'm just flipping its position, cycling where it wants to position until it snaps to where I want. So now my NPCs, if I walk in from here through that door, my crewmates can jump down to the ground and they will use this one, for example, and come inside and join me. And that's it. There's my base building pro tips. Peace.